I've talked about this on the show many times this year, I'm sure, but let me speak more comprehensively today about the issue of tithing. And I do this because research demonstrates that not only do the vast majority of Christians not tithe regularly, but many give little or nothing at all. And yet giving, it's as important today as it has ever been. We all need to learn what it is to stride free and unfettered down the path of Christian stewardship. And this is because in learning to give, we're also learning to lean more heavily upon our Heavenly Father and less heavily upon ourselves. You know, those who have traveled, as it were, the Calvary Road for any length of time, they can testify to the truth that God is ever faithful. And not only that, but as we give, we are reminded that we are all people that can say that everything we ever hope to be is already a gift from God. Moses communicated to the children of Israel that we tithe. And he gave the reason. He said, so that we may learn to revere the Lord our God always. Now that's a timeless principle. Learning to reverence the name of God is not time-bound. It's as crucial today as it was in the days of Moses. Because look, long before Moses, the Bible records Jacob's promise to God. Of all that you give me, I will give you a tenth. And long after Moses, Jesus, he reaffirmed the practice of tithing, not for outward appearances, but as an outward expression of, an inward reality. And in the 4th century, the great church father Jerome echoed the words of Malachi, who, he made clear that failing to give generously was tantamount to robbing God, which, of course, would be a prescription for financial ruin. Let me make one more point in this regard, and that is that tithing in the Old Testament not only prepared God's people to become hilarious givers, but also produced a temple of unparalleled splendor. In other words, tithing transformed the Israelites who pined for the pleasures and protection of pagan Egypt more than the one that had miraculously parted the Red Sea, turned them into joyful givers. And we see that when we read the Bible, the part that chronicles the prayer of David, as he thanked God for the very privilege of being able to give to the work of the Lord. I love the words. But who am I? Who are my people? That we should be able to give as generously as this. Everything comes from you. And we've only given you what comes from your hand. And David went on to say, and now I've seen with joy how willingly your people who are here have given to you. There's no telling what could be accomplished in our generation if we too could catch the joy of contagious giving. Not only would we be empowered to spread the gospel around the globe, but we would be enabled to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, care for the sick. And like the last generation of giving, which came from givers, A generation, the war generation, that generation was a generation of givers. And they have a legacy, and that legacy lasts on into the present because they founded great centers of Christian education. They established countless hospitals. They funded relief organizations. If we could catch that kind of contagious giving, free will giving, the kind of giving where we hold everything we have with an open hand so that God can place in and take out as he sees fit, if we could catch that kind of a theology of giving, we might, as yet, leave an indelible mark on our world. We're not responsible for past generations. We are responsible for our world. So when the training wheels of tithing come off, and we begin to realize that we cannot outgive the Lord, well, then the world of free will giving will become your playground.